Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today we're doing a replay analysis for Reckless Gizmo, who is GC1 playing some 3v3. Before we got into this analysis, I asked Gizmo a couple questions such as, what is your peak MMR and in what playlist? What are one or two things in general you believe you're good at in the game? What are one or two things you believe you're bad at in the game that you need to improve? And what rank do you have your sights set on in the near future, and when do you want to hit that rank by? His answers were his peak was 1503. He's 1460 in this analysis, so pretty close to his peak, honestly, not far off. He believes he's good at his fundamental mechanics. He needs to improve his rotation and overall positioning, and his goal is to hit SSL this year. Big goal, but GC2 is what he's working on right now. All right, let's get into it. GC1 3v3, I love it. See how it's looking. Are you partied up here? It's all solo queue. Okay, instantly right away I'm gonna say, now I'm sure your teammate probably called off to your right. He probably called need boost. If not though, typically the person who is actually not typically 100%, this kickoff is scuffed. So this player off to your right is going for the corner boost and you're cheating up. It should actually be the opposite. I'm sure some of you know why, but for those of you who don't, you always want to grab the boost behind the player doing the kickoff. Reason being, as I've stated many times in the past, as this player does the kickoff, with their momentum going in this direction, more often than not, they land over on this side of the ball, on this side of the field. And with that said, their rotation is going to carry them around the field in this direction. So if they get beat to this boost here, and they have to go all the way back for their other corner boost, well, guess what? This player this player moving in that direction, taking that boost, has now boost starved his opponent who's coming from the kickoff. Whereas if you had taken the boost over here and he cheated up, that boost back there would be available. You'd still have someone cheating up and your kickoff player wouldn't be boost starved. So just to summarize, you always want to be grabbing the boost behind the player doing the kickoff so that after kickoff, they aren't boost starved on the rotation back to third man. So this player should cheat up. You should go for the boost. You should go for the boost, obviously, because you're the closest one to the boost. You can get there first. It wouldn't make sense for him to go for the boost because it's going to take him longer to get there. So let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. First mistake before even a second game of the game passes. But that's all right. Could have been a call from your teammate. You can't really tell him no. Good check with your camera to see where your teammate's at. That's a good habit to have. Let's go back. I wouldn't go for a touch here. I mean, it's not bad. Let me play this out one more time. I should say if you are going to go for a touch here, your touch should be with the intention of staying with it. So if you're going to go for a touch here, I would rather see you not do this air roll in this direction. I would rather see you jump at the ball, get a pinch. If I can draw a line the correct way that I want to, right? Hit the ball around this area to get it to pinch upwards with you landing on the wall so you can follow it up. Otherwise, this isn't a good ball to go for because you had your teammate T-Lock, I believe it was, who was previously, I think, first man right here. Leak it. No, T-Lock jumping off their back wall. Bam, he's pushing. The clear comes out. He's landing down. Now at this point, he's rotating behind you. All right, he's rotating behind you. So when this ball gets past you, you actually don't have to go for it. You've got somebody behind you. You can stick to rotation. But if you are going to go here, again, we're trying to make a play that is not just one touch and giving the ball back to the opponent, because that's what you do here, right? You get a touch, but your teammate behind you, T-Lock, unfortunately is all the way back, but he could be in position here for this ball, right? Lands. Instead of going for the mid boost, that's not there, and then having to go all the way back for the corner boost, grabs these pads, and then as this occurred, he's actually here for this touch. Now that is, not everybody obviously is going to be on the same page with that, your teammates. If you are queuing in a party, that is the play you would want your teammate to make, staying close to keep pressure. But if you do have to go for a touch here, we're trying to make a play that isn't just one touch, and then essentially you didn't do anything with that one touch because the opponent still gets the ball. You delayed their push, which is good. But at the end of the day, they still have possession. They get the next touch on the ball. But it is definitely a team effort here to make Leaky or T-Lock, I'm sorry, I keep confusing them. T-Lock should ideally be here for this next touch. That was a really good touch. Nobody's defending the backboard. You put it on the backboard. Ooh, close. Good play so far. Keeping a lot of pressure. See how you handle this. Could there have been a better play? Not terrible. Not terrible. I mean, the outcome isn't great. Because essentially the ball just comes down to the blue team, right? But there's an opportunity for Leaky to maybe get a touch. The only other thing you could really do here is to hit it more towards their corner. It would just buy you a little extra time to get back to the ball maybe and go again. But no, I don't hate this touch. It's not anything to complain about too much, honestly. So far, it's all looking really solid. So far, now I have to say this again, the air roll. You could do without the air roll here. So, going forward, we may see this as a recurring problem. You might be over air rolling. I'm sure you hear people talk about over air rolling in the YouTube Rocket League community. In the improvement community of Rocket League, right? Over air rolling. There's no reason you need to air roll for this going up here. And had you not been air rolling, you could be hitting the ball about now, and the angle to put this on target would be a lot easier. The air roll just delays and affects your arrival to the ball negatively. If you hadn't air rolled, the shot would be a lot easier and probably scoreable. So be careful about air rolling when you don't have to. Okay, let's see this. Got a little bit of clutter going on here. Okay, definitely want to rotate out to the left here. Rotate away from the play. This is good. This is fine. About the only thing you could have done there, honestly. Your teammate Leaky doesn't want to come in on it. Fine. Okay. At this point in time, though, definitely want to make the decision to flip out to your left or drive out to your left. Probably flip to maintain your speed. But you've got T-Lock rotating in this direction. You've got your teammate pushing in this direction. The play's rotating in this direction. So you do not also, oops, wrong button. You do not also, hello? You do not also want to push in this direction. That's a no-go. As soon as you see your teammates are pushing in this direction, the play is pushing in this direction, you want to actually push out this way, come to the back post. Maybe you have time to pick up the back corner boost and then push to the net. Maybe you have to stay on pads depending on how quickly this is moving into a dangerous position. But I say it all the time, and it's a very fundamental thing. In 3v3 especially, you 90 to 95% of the time want to rotate away from the play. Meaning the play is moving in this direction. You do not want to also move in this direction. You want to move opposite of the play, away from the play. That way, when it's time to defend, it's nice and easy, right? If this play keeps pushing in this direction, how's it gonna occur, right? It's gonna push this way, it's gonna go this way. If you're here defending, yes, you're shadowing, but then all three of your defenders are all shadowing the same play. Whereas if you come out this direction, you have better vision of the play. You're not looking up or looking back at the play. You're looking straight ahead at it. It's easier to challenge. It's also easier to intercept a pass. You're covering different options than your teammates. Just fundamentally, it is much better to rotate away from the play in 3v3. In 2v2, a lot of the time is well true, but less often. The passing opportunity. I think that's an attempt at a pass, just not quite on the mark. Good idea to stay with this. Ooh, that was a very good effort. All right, what's going on here? You're last, man. I like the check to see if you need to go up for that or not. You saw that you had a lot of time and space. Oh my, that bounce is atrocious. Yeah, that bounce sucks. Yeah, that bounce hurts. Tough bounce to read, honestly. You would hope your teammates would be able to get to this. Kind of wondering how they're not. Leaky got bumped and then I think failed the wave dash on his recovery. And then the blue team was just there first. That's tough. That's tough. Unfortunate. Unfortunate, honestly. Okay, and similarly to the last one, you gotta, in 3v3, send somebody to cheat. It is 100% worth it to send one player to cheat up. That way, if the ball stays in the midfield, you can fight for possession. Whereas if you're both going for corner boost and the other team has somebody cheating up, they get a free 1v1 or a free flick opportunity, solo play opportunity, just for free, completely uncontested, and the defenders are at the mercy of the attacker. And not only that, but, you know, depending on how exactly the kickoff goes, if it's a dead ball kickoff in the center and the cheater is in the right position, he could actually just shoot it on net before either defender in the corners can get to the net to save it. So definitely need to send somebody to cheat in 3v3. Typically in this position on kickoff, what I like to do is watch my teammates' wheels or call need boost and pay attention to if your teammate's gonna call need boost. Watch your teammate's wheels, their front wheel. It looks like he's pointing it off in this direction, so you know he's about to go for the boost. Alternatively, you could call for need boost, and then he should know that he has to cheat. Alternatively, he calls need boost, and then you, without even having to watch his wheels, you know you should cheat. But that's a big tip for people. Watch your teammates' wheels, their front wheel on kickoff. If you don't know if you or him should cheat, see if they point it off to the side. That's your cue that they're going to go for the boost. If it's facing straight, it doesn't turn, they're most likely, not always, sometimes people wait till the last second to turn their wheel, but if it's facing straight, they're most likely going to cheat up. And also, alternatively, if you're this person in front, point your wheels in the direction you plan on going so that your teammate behind you can get an idea of which way you're going to go. But somebody needs to cheat here. And that actually could have possibly just been a goal if you had cheated, right? As that 50 happens, you would already be at midfield. He doesn't get that touch, and you could have been up already. I mean, it's a possibility this could have already been a goal or you at least contested this touch, and things are just a lot different. Ooh, nice. Shot by T-Lock. Good pass off the corner and going for the bump on your rotation through the net. Well done. Slight mistouch. Ideally, I'm sure you were probably trying to roll this up the wall. That is ideally what you want to do. If you need to, if you ever don't feel confident in the timing of your approach, you know, just to stay grounded like you tried to do, you can always do a speed flip or a diagonal flip into the ball, pointing sort of your car nose towards the ground to keep the ball grounded as you flip into it. Diagonal flip, speed flip into the ball is really good in this position to keep the ball glued to the ground and to get it to smoothly roll up the wall. So bam, here you're jumping up and you're diagonal flipping into it. It'll nice and easily stay glued to the wall for the solo play setup there. If that isn't what you had in mind, probably should have been. You're really uncontested if you get this ball going up the wall by yourself. Yes, you won't have much boost to make a play on it, but it at least buys time for your team to maintain offense. Because at this point in time, your team is not ready to maintain offense. I mean, look at your teammates. One of them's stuck on the post and the other one's still landing forward from his touch on the ball. So you need to do what you can to maintain your offense here. And you hit that ball up and you're looking around like to see if your teammates are there to follow up on the touch. But seeing what we saw just a second ago, you shouldn't be expecting your teammates to be ready to follow up on that. Okay. So you're GC1. You've got a big goal set up to hit SSL this year, and you're working on GC2. With that in mind, with those big goals, I'm going to give you a big critique. This touch you made is good, but slightly better players will turn this into a double tap opportunity. You're not just going for the doink to the backboard, you're trying to double tap this. Jump up, and you're following this up. So this should have been a double tap opportunity for sure. That was a great setup for it. Not just a touch off the backboard. Especially seeing that T-Lock is very far back, you can go for the shot. You know, it means your touch had to be slightly different, but you could have done it. Here, bam, you hit more on the right side, the near side of the ball. That way, after the touch, you're not off to the left of the ball. And now you're trailing this up as it's coming off the backboard, and you're going for that double tap. Nice. Good recovery. Rotated away from the plate this time, unlike last time. Well done there. Nice. Don't even need to try to go for the ball after you bait this. Let me see this again. Okay. So the first thing I was going to say was you don't even need to go for the ball. After you bait his flick here, you've done your job. At this point in time, rotate out, maybe go for a bump on him so he can't go again. But you've done enough. There should be a teammate behind you. Yep, right there who's ready to go. And he would have had this ball, you know, maybe faster and the other team wouldn't have gotten a touch on it. But also looking back as I was rewinding, notice that the fast and inaccurate is sort of their last line of defense right now, or at least he's second man and you're first man. So this would be a good challenge to actually force. If you go for this ball, force the 50-50 in this direction, you know, there's a lot of space in this area. If you can force the challenge, maybe it bounces off the sidewall and centers, or it goes towards their boost and you're able to stay with it and maybe get a little bit of a touch towards the net, or you get the boost, you know, after the exchange, you're able to beat him to the boost and then center the ball. This is actually a challenge that's worth forcing, because your first man, he's second/last man. The odds are in your favor here. So, you know, that's something to pay attention to. If you're first man and there's a challenge available on the other team's last man, that is 100% a challenge you should force. Don't let them buy time. Don't let them buy time for their teammates to get back and for him to not be last man. Force that challenge while he's last man and you're first man. You've got two people behind you. If you lose a challenge, so what? But if he loses a challenge, it's probably a goal. So pay attention to what number player you are challenging or that you can challenge, and force a challenge on their last man. Good patience. This is another instance of needing to rotate away from the play. I guess more so rotate circular. Kind of rotate away from the play, but more so rotate circular and rotate to the far post, right? Your rotations should always be pretty much circular in 3v3. One person challenges, rotates out. The next person challenges, rotates out. This person's coming back in, and it completes the circle, right? But we'll see what you did here. Let's go back. Bam. Leaky challenges. It was kind of 50-50 on who wanted to go. But after the first man went, you now need to complete the circle. You need to complete your portion of the circle, rotate back post, and your teammate who's already in this position to complete the circle is going to be next on the ball. You see how that works? But instead, what you did, right, this person's here to complete the circle, but you turned it into essentially a line. You essentially turned your rotation from a circle or a triangle, you could even look at it as, into a line. And that results in now, instead of you being behind your teammate and clearly knowing whose ball this is next, you're double committing with your teammate. That is 100% T-Lock's ball. After you end up not going, you should be rotating to the back post. Keep the rotations circular, and you wouldn't have double committed. And if you've been playing Rocket League for more than a month, you would know that double commits are never end in a good result. Actually, I can't say never. If you're like gold, sometimes double commits can end up in some pretty gnarly shots and 50-50s. But at this level, you get punished more often than not for double committing. Shot. Nice. Ooh, finish. Oh. It's okay. It's 1-3. You've got a 2-goal lead with 45 seconds. All you got to do is not blow it, and you're good. Good safe touch. Ah, a little lag. Is this me lagging or you? This is you. Okay. Dang! This man came for you. That sounds weird. But he sure did bump you. Alright, so this should be you grabbing the back corner boost. Teammate cheating. So you did well to grab the boost here. Teammate needed to cheat though. Oh no, say it ain't so. Could this have been avoided if he cheated? 100%. He's challenging this ball here that's rolling back towards their player. He could possibly dunk this. Yeah, he probably would be dunking that or 50-50ing that. And then even still, he probably should have saved that as well. Oh, that's tough. What I can say, though, that maybe could have changed the outcome of this is you do need to pay attention to your teammate, recognize where they're positioning. Notice you're both on the backboard covering the same option. So when both players could go to the backboard, you need to watch what your teammate does. If he goes to the backboard, then you need to put yourself on the ground. There's no reason to both be covering the same option on the backboard. You cover the low option, he covers the high option. Vice versa. If your teammate was driving and you notice he stayed on the ground, then you would want to cover the backboard. So if you were watching your teammate and you noticed he went backboard and then you chose to stay on the ground, you'd be at the near post facing the, near post facing the far post in this play. You possibly could have saved this. I hate to say it, but I think you could have saved this. So definitely something to keep in mind. When both of you and your teammate are rotating back at the same time, pay attention. If your teammate goes to the backboard, you don't also need to go for the backboard. You can go on the ground. One person covers the high option, one person covers the low option. Tie game. Not done yet. Nice clear. It's on target, which is very good because that puts a little bit of panic in your opponent. Good try. Keep it up. You're on offense. Might as well keep it up. All right. OT. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully somebody cheats. Sounds like somebody cheated. That's good. Think. Oh. Close. Let me go back. Let me go back to this. Honestly, I would not advise. It almost worked here, but in general, I probably wouldn't advise going for this ball. It is very good that you put yourself in a passing position here. Don't get me wrong. Great. But this pass is way closer and way easier for your opponents to get to first than for you to get to first. And there's really no reason that they should be whiffing this. If they make contact with this and just beat you as you're going up for this very floaty and loftily, you're out of the play for a minute and your teammate's on defense by himself, staring down the entire team, rushing back at him. If he hits this ball, there's a really good chance that you just lost the game. In general, it was great that you put yourself in position for the pass, but when it's such a bad pass, or not, I mean, it was a tough pass for Leaky. I don't want to sound like I'm calling him bad or saying that his pass was dog water, but it was. You don't have to go. If it's a bad pass, you don't got to go, and you shouldn't have gone for this one. It almost worked because for whatever reason he whiffed, but there's no way in the world that you knew he was going to whiff this, and he shouldn't have whiffed this, and it was almost a 1v3 going back on your end. 9 out of 10 games that you play, if you do that same thing, I guarantee they're not whiffing it and they're probably punishing you. So in general, I would not have advised going for a bad pass that was completely contested by the other team. See what your teammate did there? Essentially what you did earlier. Not as extreme. Yours is actually a little bit worse. But notice how you should have been next for that ball, but T-Lock didn't complete the circular rotation. He didn't rotate behind you. He cut you off. Okay. Again. Okay. I mean, this one's better. I would like to see you, if your goal is to hit SSL this year and your goal short term is to hit GC2, this is a double tap opportunity. This is either... this is a great opportunity to pass off the backboard or just an infield pass. Both are great. Now, the infield is a bit riskier solo queue. If you're duo queued or a full team and you have confidence that your teammate's going to be there for this, then yes, an infield pass is an option here. Infield pass, just pass it off to the right. See where your teammate is here. See, this is what I'm talking about. In solo queue, that's a risky option here. It was not clear. Watching that play, I didn't have any sort of cues to know that your teammate was going to be there. So I wouldn't have gone for the infield. The backboard pass is a decent option because even if your teammate's not there for it, it's not super dangerous. But this is also a great opportunity to go for a double tap again. Solo queue, a lot of the time, making some individual plays, some really good individual plays goes a long way. Now, I'm not saying to never pass, but when you've got a free chance to score, take it. You know, I mean, this is completely a very great double tap opportunity. Very great double tap. Yes, you can pass it. Just hit it off the backboard, leave it for your teammate. But, I mean, it's just a scoring opportunity for you. And if you miss it, your teammate behind you will still have a follow-up chance. You know what they say? Sometimes the best pass is a missed shot. That's a quote from Corelli. Corelli back in the day in RLCS said that one time. That sometimes the best pass is a missed shot. Block, boost grab. Another infield pass opportunity, right? Arrow to your right, arrow right, pass it midfield. Anyone positioned for it? No. No, nobody is. Why is nobody looking for the pass here? T-Lock is, and then he leaves it. Bummer. Bummer, dude. Definitely have somebody in the middle looking for a pass there. But solo playing works too. Solo playing works too. If you're playing a lot of ranked and you're noticing at your rank nobody's ever there for the pass, then hey, so yeah, sometimes you just gotta start solo playing. Stop passing to nobody. Take matters into your own hands. Let your missed shot opportunity be the pass itself. But again, ideally, somebody would have been in the midfield, and you don't have to pass, but if you chose to, they would have been there for it. Nice. Yeah. You're recognizing your teammates off to the right, pushing up. So don't push up too fast here, especially because you're low boost. I'm glad that you checked. I'm glad that you checked to see if your teammate was still up. At least before committing to staying the second man. You're doing really well on using your free joystick to check people's positioning. It's a very good habit to have, very good skill to have. This should be defended. Wow, really nice, really nicely done. Good pass. This is a great opportunity. Missed the touch. That's all right. Happens. Oh no. You both pulled off. This is tragic. Let me see. Whose ball is this? This is your ball. Leaky just rotated out of the play and you hadn't gone yet, so he rotated back in before you ever went and you had the opportunity to go. So this is definitely your ball. Unfortunate. This might be game. But the only thing I will say about this is try to recognize, would it be better to double commit or would it be better to pull off? Because in that play, if you pull off and neither of you go, then it's free behind you, as you see, because that was your last man who double committed with you. So sometimes it's better just to double commit, because if you don't, then it's just a free shot. Try to recognize, if I don't double commit here, is it just going to be free? If I pull off the ball and my teammate does as well, because this happens, like, this is not something new. It's not the first time anyone has seen this happen where you both go up and you both pull off. It's something that happens. You just have to recognize that it's something that happens and then make the quick judgment call. Would it be better to just double commit and make sure at least somebody gets the touch? Because sometimes that is the better decision to make. You could have saved that had you picked up that pad to your left. Unfortunately, I don't know if you recognize that. If you grab that pad, though, on your flip or during your flip, that would have been a save. Unlucky. I mean, preventable. Big difference between low GC and pushing up in GC is maximizing your speed around the field, your movement around the field, your movement efficiency. And a lot of that is knowing something like this. If I get this pad to my left, I can get here. If I don't, I can't. That's just as simple as it is. This is 100%. You get that pad, you save that. Bummer. Okay, so overall, there was a couple of takeaways. A couple of times you could have rotated away from the play. That's a pretty low-level fundamental mistake, so I would try to iron that out in your gameplay for sure. That should help you hit GC2, definitely. Rotating away from the play, essentially every time. 90%, 95% of the time, rotating away from the play is the correct play to make, as well as keeping your rotation circular, right? If you are rotating towards the ball, let me draw it on screen. If you're rotating, ball's here, and you're rotating towards it like you're gonna go, but then for whatever reason you don't go, like we saw earlier, you and your teammate both were trying to go, and you decided, okay, I'll let him go. Don't turn back the way you came to rotate, because then you've put yourself in your third teammate's line of sight, line of rotation. You've cut them off. You're going to double commit if something comes your way. Instead, finish your circle. Finish the circle. Get behind this person who's behind you. I think that's a good way to say it. Get behind the person who's behind you. That's a great way to say it. Get behind the person who's already behind you. That's a great way to say it. But yeah, keep it circular, rotate away from the play. Couple of small moments in the game. I can't recall everything off the top of my head, but there were moments in the game where we emphasized how plays could have been optimized. Just saw at the end there, you could have actually saved the shot and kept the game going had you not missed that pad. Small detail, but you're at that point. You're at that level where the small details matter. So hope you guys liked the video. If you did, do me a favor, leave a like on the video. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you did, if you're here right now, that watch time is the #1 way that you can support somebody. Man, like that watch time is the biggest factor in the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you. If you made it this far, leave a comment down below so that I know who made it here. Leave a comment. How long is the recording? Oh my God, it's 43 minutes. Let's put 43 in the comments. So let's say I played a game and had 43 shots on net. People will read that and think that is insane. 43. They're gonna call you a liar. You're gonna get flamed. But put that in the comment section. That's how I'm gonna know who made it to the end. I played a game and had 43 shots on net. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you like educational Rocket League content, if you're trying to improve your game, this is the #1 channel on YouTube to improve your game. I guarantee it. See you in the next one. Peace out.